So I reiterate here, the bill is dead.
The story of this great city is about the years before this night. We are free!
Hey, welcome to Ho Ho Hong Kong. I am your co-host Vivek Mahbubani. A very happy new year along with my other co-host.
Happy New Year, everybody! I'm Mohammed Magdi. I'm here.
Yeah.
Still kicking. 2022.
Yeah, you can't stop me. It's 2022. We're still here. Hey, look
So
at us.
far.
Yeah, so far. Next week, who knows?
It has been good 2 days of this year.
Yeah, so far so good.
How was your New Year's?
My New Year's actually, I was over at my friend's place in Chunwan side, just watching TV, View TV on. We were like, oh, look, they're counting down. And just to kill it all, we were like, oh, it's going to be Mirror and all that stuff. No, they play the Hong Kong Philharmonic. I'm like, why would you do that?
So, okay, so I'm a little confused at what happened because as far as I know, they canceled the fireworks.
Yeah.
They had, like, I saw something on a group
So they were
chat.
building fireworks, like fireworks coming out of the buildings. They had that, and obviously the countdown's going to happen. But people, you can't deny the clock, so you can't be like, oh, the clock doesn't exist. It's,
Okay, I haven't seen New Year's in Hong Kong. We'll get to that with the guest later,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen New Year's in Hong Kong. What was it like before COVID?
So before COVID, people were smiling during New Year's. Now we're like, oh man, I can't see your face. I can't see your face anymore.
It's okay, so there are fireworks along the harbor, right?
Yeah, they were. The buildings would spit out some fireworks, because.
But that's what happened this year, but they also canceled it.
No, but the buildings had some fireworks. The actual fireworks, like in the middle of the ocean, was what we normally get. We get the whole bunch of those.
There's the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I just realized now it's better to talk about that with our guest.
Yeah.
So, first of all, how do people find you online?
At Funny Vivek. I like the silence after that.
Yeah, now officially.
Yeah.
So wait, what was the dilemma with?
So right now,
yeah,
I still
Facebook is good.
So Facebook good, Instagram is good. YouTube is not good.
YouTube,
Yeah,
okay.
YouTube's the problem now. I'm still Vivek Mahbubani, which is why that's my excuse for why I have like barely any followers on YouTube. It's not that they want to follow me.
buddy.
Like I'm not motivated to type the.
I used to be a subscriber to YouTube, but then I saw a video of yours and I unsubscribed.
Yeah.
And then I told everybody to unsubscribe as well.
That's probably why I lost like 7 people who follow you. What about yourself? How do people get you online?
I am at the other Mohammed.
Uh-huh.
And you guys should also, if you're not following already, should also follow the Backstage HK. We have been doing a lot of shows over every single weekend. So actually, one of the things that we decided to do is to have shows on over Christmas, over New Year's.
Yeah, you had it on Christmas Day and New Year's Day.
Christmas Day and New Year's Day,
Wow.
exactly. Because we just don't want to take a break. And it's a conscious decision from our side because everyone's stuck in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
People are here, and
Yeah.
there is nothing much going on, and we want to be available for them.
Yeah.
And actually, we had a really, really fun show over New Year's Day. When people, it was funny because it was one of these shows that as comics, you would understand like, oh, this is going to be a tough show because the audience are just kind of slow.
Yeah.
But once we realized this audience is not slow, they're just partied out.
Yeah.
Which means that we had to bring our A game. And once the comics figured it out, it was one of the most fun shows we've done in a while. It was really fun. And the audience really appreciated that we are there for them. We're like, this is our job. We're going to make you guys laugh. And then like basically 20 minutes into the show, it was a killer show.
So you just sent the benchmark for the rest of 2022 is like whoever was on the lineup on the 1st of Jan, that's your A game lineup.
Yeah, every
After-
time it's Ashley James. Yes, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like he's the scapegoat. You just put him on. Everyone's like, oh, whatever. This,
It's all relatively speaking, we were good. He was there, you're like, you have to bounce it up. Give everyone a chance.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of giving chances, we should give our guests a chance to speak as well.
There you go. So
Hey.
our guest, the reason we wanted to bring our guest on is that he was on last year on the New Year's special, and we just wanted to make a tradition out of it.
Yeah.
So please welcome back Mr. Garron Chiu.
Happy New Year, guys.
Yay.
Thanks for coming back, buddy. How was your New Year?
My New Year's was okay. It's a little chill. My family are a little more TVB folk. I like how Vivek threw in his street creds. Like I was watching View TV. with my friend.
Look at that. Look at that.
And me like being the non-Hong Konger between the two of you, I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
Exactly.
TVB was like the station that was the dominant station, but then became the station for old people. And when people started almost watching View TV as like the protest station. But it's also where like the cool celebrities are coming out of now.
I mean, like on View TV during the countdown, they had a whole outdoor event. It was also sponsored by the Hong Kong Tourism, Discover Hong Kong and stuff. So I was like, well, the government's also going on that.
On
side.
New Year's Eve.
They always do like the New Year's countdown. They have celebrities do the singing. So
Okay, let me ask the very basic questions. What is the difference politically political sides. What's the difference between TVB and View TV?
Okay, so TVB.
Who wants to go first?
I would say TVB seems to be very anti-protest to a certain extent. There was a lot of basically the celebrities because of a lot of ties with China and all that, so they want to maintain business and all that stuff. There.
Okay.
So a lot of that, and I guess just the running trend has always been where they were more traditional, the old school kind of mentality, which is why you got like a lot of the older generation watching because that's what you grew up on. I mean, I grew up watching TVB. You can't blame them.
And View TV, so View TV started a few years ago as the second channel, but they became popular by like, oh, we're going to attract younger consumers. We're going to do a lot of reality TV shows. We're going to a lot of like singing shows, like Mirror came out of View TV.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. We're going to
Wow.
target a lot of younger people. And then younger people just happen to be more on the yellow side. So they've seen like, yeah, you guys are more what we do.
One of us, yeah.
Yeah.
And they spell View VIU, so that's like, hey,
VIU,
cool,
so
yeah,
that's
man.
Oh yeah, look
Yeah.
at you. Okay, so the next dumb question: how long do you both think View TV has before they are part
Shut
of
down.
the TVB?
Before they know View TV.
Yeah, nice.
So I think View TV's almost gotten to this like too big to fail part.
Yeah.
Because there are people who on both sides of the political spectrum who just love Mirror. And if
Right.
you cancel View TV, you cancel Mirror, and that'll get people more pissed off
Yeah.
than during the protests. They're
Very
like,
true, yeah.
these are our favorite boy bands.
Yeah.
Screw you.
If you like ban the word mirror, oh man, the rest of half of Hong Kong's gonna go nuts.
Do
Yeah.
we have to mention on this podcast that technically Vivek was an employee of View TV
Technically,
once?
yeah.
We can. Let's go for
Yeah,
it.
hey.
Let's go into it.
No, they used to have. I used to be on the G1 Fight Club show where they had a reality TV show with a bunch of girls learning how to fight MMA, and I was the host / ring announcer for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like a weekly show or?
No, basically you could say that it was like I think like 12 or 13 episodes, and they were one of the flagship shows in the opening of View TV. Like when they first started
Nice.
the channel, that was like one of the biggest deals they had.
So
Yeah.
can I know this has nothing to do with our topic, but I'll tell a quick story. One of the first episodes, they basically like built these two girls up for their opening fight. This show was about white collar women who want to become MMA fighters. And during the first fight, they're about to start the fight, and this girl whispers in Vivek's ear, and Vivek's kind of the judge, and Vivek's like, okay.
Wait. Okay, let me stop here. Is it live?
no, pre-recorded.
It was
Okay,
pre-recorded.
pre-recorded.
Yeah.
But this girl basically said like, I'm forfeiting the match.
Oh, I know
because-
you're talking about. Yeah.
I'm forfeiting the match
Yeah.
because I just got engaged and we're about to do some like wedding photos or whatever, and I want my face to look good in these photos. And so told the ref they're forfeiting. The ref told Vivek, who's the host, and then Vivek just looks at this girl's like, this show is about women who want to become warriors, not quitters. And you're a quitter. And quitters are. And this girl starts crying.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm watching the show, and I was at my parents at the time, and my parents like, Garron, your Indian comedian friend's making a girl cry on television. And I run out, I was like, oh my God, it's Vivek.
Wait, so they let that, because that's why I asked the question earlier. They let that, it's pre-recorded and they aired it anyway.
I think they had a lot because they wanted the drama, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so funny. So what happened? She just cried
She
and
quit.
and then
Vivek
she
yelled
quit?
at her, and she's like,
Come on,
next
yeah.
match.
Oh
Because
my
the next
God.
match, they're actually going to fight.
Yeah, it's because I know there were a few like initially all the girls were like, oh, we'll fight, hit a few punches, it'll be great. And then when the first punch landed, like what?
Yeah.
Oh, and we were like, oh my God, they're really going for it. Like,
Right.
We all thought we're like, what's gonna happen? Like once
Yeah.
the first hit was like, what you do, girl? And that went nuts.
Is there a video of that on YouTube or something?
I think they've probably taken it off of View TV.
I've been trying to find it for a
Dude,
long time.
tell me about it, man.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I want to see that
I
video.
might have it in my archives. My archives is a mess now, but like I might have it because I must have saved whatever I could save back
If you
then.
do have it, we want to put it on the Patreon.
Oh my
Please.
God,
Please
yeah.
look
So-
for it.
So traditionally in Hong Kong, the big television stations, they throw concerts before the countdown. Usually live somewhere by TST Harbor or it used to be Causeway Bay by Times Square for a
Yeah,
while.
that was it,
Now
yeah.
it's Central Harbor Front. I've noticed in Vivek, I didn't watch the View TV feed. I've heard this from other people. I was watching the TVB feed. It's been like very corporate co-opted for a while. So, for example, they had George Lamb, who's a very famous singer.
Yeah.
For those of you guys listening, you guys will know George Lamb from the guy who sings the YUU song.
Yeah.
Oh,
my
no!
God.
Is that is that the older guy or the younger
older guy,
Well,
the father,
older guy,
basically.
he's the dad.
Yeah, he's
Right,
the
right.
dad.
Younger, but
Yeah,
it's
okay.
the older guy. The older guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he can't, because the show wasn't sponsored by YUU, so he can't sing YUU. So instead,
I mean,
they bring him
wait,
live.
who wants to go to a show to listen to the YUU
No,
song?
I know, but this is what he did cleverly. He goes up and he sings Uptown Girl.
Oh wow!
And when he starts singing Uptown Girl, everyone's just thinking YUU.
Yeah.
So you're like,
Yeah, they're probably thinking like, why'd they change the lyrics to YUU, man? Who's
But
these
why
people?
would you even listen to that at all? Or why would you want to?
Well, I know on the other side on View TV, they had Mirror sing the song that they that came out with like the McDonald's meal.
Right.
So the people are thinking about McDonald's as
Okay,
well.
I
Like,
see, I
okay,
see.
this is just all corporate tie-ins right
Yeah.
now.
But then I think that's what Cancer House become. Every song is a corporate tie-in. That's basically what it is. Every song is actually sing a song about McDonald's or YUU.
This is how confused I am. I knew about the fireworks in Hong Kong from my brother in Dubai, who sent me a video of the fireworks in Dubai on the 1st of January from ABC News. And I looked on the YouTube channel and I'm like, oh, there are celebrations in Hong Kong. And then I saw the video. There was a symphony and fireworks. I'm like, I live here. What the fuck
How do you not
happened?
know?
So pre-COVID, pre-protests, Hong Kong was always super proud of their fireworks. Like New Year's,
Chinese New
New
Year,
Year, Handover Day, and Chinese
I
Independence
moved
Day.
here in 2019.
I know,
I've not
you
seen
missed
it
all
yet.
of it.
Missed all- yeah.
And they would always like they would talk about their fireworks budget. Like
Right.
our fireworks are better than the Sydney New Year's, better than Dubai, better than New York, and it was always. I'm being honest, like pretty epic.
Yeah,
I would, like
yeah.
20
minutes is, like,
teenagers, 20
insane,
minutes.
yeah.
You're just like these are the best fireworks ever.
Right.
To the point where last year, and I don't know if you saw this, and if you didn't, it makes sense because the government are stupid and wasted a lot of money. So last year,
This podcast does not sponsor the opinions of the
you
guests.
could share this on the group chat. So last year, what they did was obviously the fireworks were canceled. So instead, they paid this Hollywood production company 8 million Hong Kong dollars to create a video and CGI the Hong Kong harbor skyline as if there were fireworks.
Are you serious?
And then put it on YouTube so that people can watch and see how amazing the fireworks would have been.
been.
And even if you click the
God.
YouTube link now, it's like got 10,000 views. So like,
so crazy.
8 million Hong Kong dollars on CGI. And then the Hong Kong government, like, I think one of the news networks, I forgot if it was SCMP or another newspaper, called them out. And they were like, actually, if you look at the work that the CGI company has done, $8 million is actually the correct price. And like, no, the problem wasn't the pricing.
exactly.
yeah,
How many
The
people
problem
actually
was you
watched
doing
it?
it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my.
I mean, if they spent $8 million on Google Ads, they might get, like way more.
yeah, come
right?
to Hong Kong
Yeah.
in
Watch one
2025 or something. So, okay, what happened in 20? Because I moved here 2019. New Year's Eve 2019 was also canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was because of the protest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm just.
So you missed all of it.
Exactly.
Because like 2019 was still like Halloween still happened, but then they shut it down in Nan Kwai Fong, right?
Right.
So after that, the government probably was like, wait a second, hold on a second, it was very scary.
Yeah.
So then they probably just decided New Year's Eve, forget it. Like now they've ruined it to the point that okay, you can cancel one thing, but like to shut the MTR down early,
Yeah.
you know,
it's
normally
so
used to be-
blatant.
And the reason why I get pissed off because this year I got caught with that. The MTR only extended by 1 hour, dude,
Yeah,
which is 1:30.
1:50.
Yeah,
Yeah, 1:30,
1:30
yeah.
from Chun Wan. Yeah, and
Right.
I'm just like, who the hell is able to finish the countdown, give you hugs, you know, hey, good wishes, send you messages on WhatsApp, all that stuff,
Yeah.
get to the MTR station in time. You're like, you asshole.
I
you
feel like
ruined
in
it.
their heads they're like, well, bars are meant to close at midnight anyway. Why are you out?
Yeah,
should
why
be
you still
home by
there?
now."
Yeah, why you
Yeah.
still there? Who says bye for so long? You know,
Yeah,
we're not
Daddy
meeting at
told
the
you
12.
to
It ends
go
at 12. What's
home.
going on?
Yeah, it's your fault.
And they don't understand. Like, not everyone's attached to the MTR or the buses and all that stuff. Like for them,
Yeah.
like when you leave the office, there's a person waiting. The car is there. It's not how the transport works over here, right? So that's why I got annoyed. I was like, 1 hour. Even the central escalator goes up till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, and you're only extending the MTR by 1 hour. Oh
Yeah.
God, I just like.
So
was
it used to be what 24 hours?
all night, man. New
All
Year's Eve.
night, like
every-
5
Dude,
a.m.
New Year's,
Christmas Eve.
New Year's, Christmas Eve,
Chinese New
and
Year.
Day of the Rugby Sevens. It
Rugby
was
Sevens.
always
This is
24/7
so funny.
MTR.
I'm like, we're doing this because I genuinely have no concept of what you're talking about. Since I moved here, none of these things
Nope.
happen.
Nope.
Dude.
So I don't know
Those were
when the rugby
those were
sevens are.
Those were the best days. Like
Those were the
you're
best,
just
man.
making
Oh, thanks,
friends
guys.
at 3 a.m. on the MTR.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Yeah. And the best thing was like at 3 a.m. You're like, hey man, why don't you come out? I'm like, I'll come out now. You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
such a cool thing because like also there's no
Wow.
deadline. Before
Yeah.
you're always like, dude, it's one. I better go. Otherwise, it's like because you must understand if you take the train, that's like let's say $10, $15, right? You
Yeah.
go take the taxi, it could be like 10 times, like 100
Sure.
bucks to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of thinking like, dude, I'm ruining my whole night. Because I'm not gonna spend an additional like $300 just to get back home. I don't want to be out anymore, and just ruin the whole vibe. That was the one thing that annoyed me because I really used to look forward to the overnight MTR.
Yeah. This year completely swapped though. So like in previous years, even Halloween, you know, they jack up the prices.
Yeah.
When you're, like going home. I didn't go out. I was at a friend's house party. left at like 12:30, 1 a.m. ish. Got a cab on Kane Road.
Yeah.
Free cab, like no extra,
Really?
no double the
No
cost.
calling,
blah, blah.
it was just there.
And then when I got home, I was like, I tipped the guy. It's like, Happy New Year. Tip him $10. Like, oh my God, thank you. Nobody's taking cabs today.
Wow.
Because like because of the Omicron news on the
Yeah,
day,
true.
Like it ended up so many of the bars, so many of the parties, people canceled. It was empty.
Yeah, they don't want to be
nuts.
around. Yeah. Oh God.
So one of
such a
my
mess.
favorite news from the last few months was on Halloween. One of the things that actually cops should use for good PR is that them dressing up and then catching the cabbies that are overcharging people.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
They
Like-
dressed up as Squid Game characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they literally
It's
went
so
into,
great.
and they also waited until they got to their destination.
Yeah.
And then like recorded the transaction that they're
Yeah.
being overcharged. Like you're under arrest. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No matter what our position is on the cops, like
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Especially that he did it when you're dressed up as
Yeah,
Squid
yeah.
Game character. I'm
I
like,
mean, let's be honest. Like when they dress up as Squid Game characters, they're probably just dressing up themselves. You know, they would.
That's also like a very low bar for Hong Kong. It's like, oh, we hate cops. But cab drivers, fuck those guys.
Exactly.
yeah.
But then you know what that means, though. That means that the cab drivers were never gonna take foreigners
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Because they know they're not cops for sure.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why you guys get in cabs so easy. When I'm there, like I've seen him on TV.
Yeah.
He could
What
be
do you
a
mean,
cop
you
now.
guys? I look like you. What are you talking about? It's just him.
That's true.
Also racist. He's American.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you better wave that passport when you're on the street trying to get a cab. Hey, American passport.
So actually, yeah.
It's funny because like the fireworks were such a big deal and it was such a source of pride in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's funny that the government thought like, this is how we're going to punish you. It's like, oh, you guys walked around, no fireworks.
Yeah. See, I think that's where the priority, it makes you realize the government's priority. They're kind of like, so if I can't watch fireworks, I got to look at my friends? Ugh, I don't want to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, which basically that gets to our topic today, which is the holidays for Hong Kong people over the years, right?
Yeah.
And I'm basically asking the outsider questions. So both of you guys, walk me through a typical New Year's Eve in Hong Kong, let's say in 2015.
So it was definitely walk to Lang Kwai, walk to Causeway Bay, walk to TST Harbourfront. There's usually some sort of like concert or entertainment. You do the countdown. You
What
watch
is
the fire-
where is the concert?
Outdoors.
no, outdoors,
Yeah, they'll just
outdoors.
make a
They-
whole
they have
street.
So
one
is it
this-
different concerts, different
Different
stages?
concerts.
They had one this year too at Central Harbourfront.
Yeah.
which is weird because they were like, let's cancel everything because of COVID, but like Mirror's got to sing, right?
Yeah,
So we gotta
yeah.
hear
Was it
Mirror.
Mirror?
It was Mirror and some
Central
other
was Mirror,
stuff.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that was what
Central
UCB
Pier.
was
Was
playing.
it just free?
No,
Like,
no,
can you
you
see
had
it?
to. It was a lucky draw thing.
was a lucky draw.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, okay. Was it by the Ferris wheel or where is it?
I think
Yeah,
it was,
actually by the Ferris
Yeah,
wheel,
yeah.
where the lawn club.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that whole
okay.
area. So I think that's where the View TV thing was going
Yeah.
on. Yeah. I remember now.
So usually there are different stages across the harbor from both sides.
Yeah.
And is it government sponsored?
Partially, some of them.
Government and some corporate, and there's usually a lot of like charity, like Hong Kong
Yeah.
Jockey Club will sponsor
Yeah,
it.
yeah, they'll throw a
Be
bunch
like
of money,
also
yeah.
while you're watching this, donate to whatever.
Yeah,
So
charity.
people usually watch live shows and then the fireworks at midnight.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and it's actually very wholesome. Like it's much more of a family thing.
Yeah,
than-
it's not
yeah.
even like a going out
Teenagers.
getting drunk
Yeah,
event.
no. People sit there and enjoy it. Like, and also shopping malls have. Shopping malls will have their own internal.
Yeah, and the
events.
shopping malls will have like big screens which will play the concerts live on the screen.
Yeah, so
Wow.
people stand around the shopping malls because they're
Yeah.
far away. It's near their home. They go
Do you
there.
guys remember any favorite New Year's Eve for both of you separately?
I look honestly, New Year's Eve for me. Okay, so I used to have this whole stupid joke about going to Lang Kwai Fong for New Year's, where you're basically stuck in line. Okay, you can't get into Lang Kwai. You're lining up to get in, and usually it's very unlikely that you'll get into Lang Kwai Fong for the countdown. So you're in this whole line. So if you've ever been to Central, the Queens Road, the whole road is really long. So what will happen is you're usually in the middle, and to your left, you got people going like 10, 9,
Yeah.
and someone's watch is not synchronized. So to your right, they're like 2, 1, and you're like going like
It's like two different time zones.
You're like average 4.2, 3.7.
Right.
Like, so I remember, and you finished counting down. You're like, hey, Happy New Year, and
Yeah.
you're still in the line. You can't
Well,
leave.
okay,
yet.
so obviously this is controlled by cops. Are the cops doing the countdown as well? Are they like in a happy mood?
I bet you then the walkie-talkie are like,
Are the cops ever in a happy mood?
Yeah,
That's why I was asking. Maybe that time.
The one time they're like,
Yeah.
no, because like we count down in English, so they're kind of like, oh, what?
Dude, this episode is gonna get us canceled, by the way.
But
yeah. Then like 7, I got man, say, yeah, something, yeah.
One of the best, worst. I think New Year's in general is a little overrated.
Yeah.
And I think this year, not a lot of people not going out to New Year's like realize like a lot of people in Hong Kong, went,
Yeah.
camping or whatever. But I remember there's one New Year's, and a lot of people do this all the time, especially when it's not super cold. When they have the fireworks, you can rent junks to do a night junk,
Oh,
so you
yeah,
can
yeah,
watch
yeah.
the
Oh,
fireworks
that
from the
sounds
water.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except there was one time we got a junk, and so many people got junks and they stayed late that like getting back to Central Harbor took a long time.
Oh wow, this was this traffic jam.
And it was both Central and Causeway Bay, and a lot of people were going back when they didn't start in that route. It's like, oh, they start in Aberdeen, but they're going back to Central.
Right.
And our boat was just like, you know what? There's too many people here. We're gonna go off the Sai Kung. And we're like, wait, what?
That's a big jump.
And so we had the countdown, and then they're like, now we're going to Sai Kung. So we get to Sai Kung after the countdown at around 12:45 at night.
There's no cabs, nobody.
Have to find our way from Sai Kung back to civilization. And like a lot of our friends who lived in Sai Kung, they were fine with that. They were
Of course,
let's go to Sai Kung. We're like,
home.
It's like I was planning to go to Lang Kwai after, and obviously didn't make it. Just like had to go
Oh
home
my
after.
god, that's terrible, dude. Like, it's okay if you were like say Kennedy Town to Central, you're like, okay, it's a little bit track, but like Sai Kung's like the other side, man.
Nope, one-way road, no way.
Wow, that's
Okay,
crazy.
so for Hong Kong people, what are the seasons? Because I know also before COVID, traveling is a big thing for Hong Kongers. Is that correct?
Yeah.
But it depends on which holiday, or do Hong Kongers travel on every holiday?
I think like that's one of Hong Kong's pastime is to get out of Hong Kong. That's what
Yeah.
people love doing.
Well,
So on
also
which
we're
holiday,
close
though?
enough. No, I mean like they'll do it New Year's, Christmas. They'll definitely do it in October during that break because we'll have like
That's the golden week.
yeah, because you have the Buddha's birthday and China Day at the same time during summer, during Chinese New Year, and the beauty is like in Hong Kong. A lot of people will do like super short holidays. Like we'll go to Taipei for 2 days and then come back. We'll go to Tokyo for 3 days.
You
and then
mean
come back.
Chinese Taipei?
Chinese
Yeah.
Taipei? Yes.
Yeah.
Like super short trips.
Yeah.
We go to a different city in China. Exactly. Okay.
Have you not watched the Olympics?
Yeah.
So okay, so what is the tradition there? Like you just like try to get out for like a long weekend kind of thing.
Yeah, just like I think like so this year I've noticed like a new COVID thing is a lot of people have started camping.
Yeah.
A lot of people go camping, hiking, coasteering because it kind of feels like a vacation because like Hong Kong is just such a stressful place that like, hey, going out of the city for 2 days, you can decompress.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember camping in Sai Kung a few times, like 2 nights basically, and coming back on the 3rd day, I'm like, this is, I don't like this anymore. Like I'm on the MTR, I'm like, I don't, this is too many people.
I have friends who are like on December 31st. So many people went like, because there are no fireworks, they just went camping for New Year's.
Right.
They went
But then again, okay, you said there is no fireworks, but there were fireworks. This is what I'm
Well, no. So each of the buildings did their
Yeah.
own fireworks, but you don't have the main fire because they usually have boats lined up across the harbor.
So the
all
boats
shooting
are,
the
wait, the
fireworks.
boats are government sponsors, but the buildings are
No.
doing their own thing?
Okay. Let's do it in
Yes.
terms like okay. So
Sorry, I'm asking very stupid
all right,
questions,
let
but I want to
me
understand.
use in terms you would understand.
Yes.
Okay. So there is comedy in Hong Kong. Normally there's a comedy show that's happening and stuff, right?
Right.
Now you only have guys telling jokes at bars. Okay,
Right.
You get what I mean? So
Yeah,
the
the
mini
big
fireworks.
shows.
Yeah. You don't have the main. There's still
okay.
comedy. People still
Yes.
laughing.
Like, we had a
but it's
few
like,
buildings shoot off fireworks, but it's usually like a massive
insane.
half an hour show.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like,
wild.
that's why again, if you ever seen Hong Kong fireworks properly, the people in the audience are legitimately going wow, not
Yeah.
because they're like they're like oh my god, this is
This
damn
is
impressive.
actually impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We would have like there would
Fuck.
be years like, oh, how did they shoot fireworks in the air that spelled out 2018
Yeah.
Hong
Right.
Kong and like a
Yeah.
heart? You
It was
know?
insane stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
So this year, just having buildings
Damn.
spit fireworks, you're like, what?
Yeah,
This is
we're like,
stupid.
yeah,
whatever. Just CG that stuff.
But yeah, a lot of people going camping, and they were. If you went to Central Pier on December 31st, every pier is packed because everyone's like, we're gonna Mui Wa, we're gonna Cheung Chau, we're gonna Sai Kung, we're gonna wherever, and camping's become a big thing, which is weird because. Like Hong Kong kind of has this mentality of like, oh, if we want to do something, we'll figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people will go camping and go hiking or go coasteering and realize while they do it, it's like, oh, we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah. Because on paper, it sounds straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Just go into nature.
Like there's so many of these like videos of people like coasteering, like doing hiking, but you're climbing on the side and just like falling down cliffs and because like, oh, we're not wearing the right shoes or we're not wearing
Right,
gloves.
right.
And it's like, I don't know, this looked good at our friend's Instagram selfie,
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
thought I
yeah.
could do it.
Yeah. There's a lot of
Have you,
that.
have you done any glamping before? I think it's also very Hong Kong.
Let's define
thing.
glamping first. It's glamorous
Because
camping, right?
Glamorous
glamorous
camping. Okay,
camping,
okay,
and
so
there's
yeah.
like I was looking it up for the purpose of this episode on Klook, whatever it's called.
Oh, Klook.
Yeah, Klook.
The letter K spelled as K.
Yeah.
And it's pronounced as K. as
So
well.
where does Klook come from? Like what is
Klook?
that? Yeah,
I have no idea. I'm guessing
What,
it's
is that a wordplay or is that?
I think it's Singaporean, so it might mean something there.
yeah, probably like, hey, oh, you want a kukla?
Kluk liao, you know.
very racist, but I think they can get away with
No,
it.
I mean, yeah. So glamping's like blown up in the past 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Some of them look ridiculous. I'm like, you're not even.
They're not
camping.
camping.
No,
Yeah.
it's
They have
like
like-
a hotel room
They
in
have
the
like,
middle.
or like camper vans, but the ceiling's open and we'll barbecue the food for you.
Yeah. You're like, what? Is that the
And it's
point?
like you gotta pay extra for Wi-Fi. It's like you shouldn't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's
exactly.
actually wrong. I would say, yeah, with camping and stuff, that's the one time you have an excuse of saying I should have no Wi-Fi.
I also feel like I haven't gone camping often, but in Hong Kong, it's such a, and this might be a male ego thing. Like, camping is such a source of pride. Like, you're supposed to work for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I can build a tent, and you look at your friends like, haha, you can't build your tent. That's why you sleep in the cold tonight.
Exactly. Yeah. You carried all that stuff. You lugged it all the way there.
Yeah.
You built it up. You're like, all right, we're nice and warm.
You do. I think the key is you need one friend who knows how to cook outdoors.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you realize like, oh, we all bought raw meat and we know
Yeah.
how to build a fire, but
Yeah.
we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah. What kind of spices?
We're
or
either
whatever.
eating like salmonella or just complete crisps.
No, but this is exactly like usually with these things you have two types of people. You have the one of the extremely unprepared, where they come and go like, well, I just have normal shoes, right?
the fun guy with like a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it. And you have the guy with like every branded climbing item, like
Yeah.
brand new, bought from the store just now just for this event.
We were doing a Mama Hoho video idea for exactly the overprepared Hong Konger.
Yeah.
Who goes to like just like walk like a hike for half an hour.
Yeah.
But he has all kinds of
Yeah.
gear.
He's
And
got-
like the hiking sticks and the glasses and the
yeah.
helmets. Like,
Yeah.
dude, it's the dragon's back. Like,
Yeah. It's like, he'll be
Nowadays, you always have the one person who's like, no, trust me, I can get delivery to work. I'll get them to send pizzas
Yeah,
to
you
our
add a
tent.
tip for $100. They're like, I'll do the hike.
Yeah.
The funny thing, like
Fine.
someone actually comes with food. They're delivering their own food next to you. They're like, I'll deliver you for that.
what are the favorite destinations for Hong Kongers when they travel abroad?
Oh, Japan.
Japan for
Japan,
sure.
So
Taiwan.
that's
Oh,
that
Japan.
number one.
Hands
Japan's
down.
number one, and then like there's a second. So Japan's basically the top.
Okay,
Whether
so
it's like
why is
Tokyo,
that?
Okinawa,
Yeah.
Osaka, people here just love Japanese shit.
Just love it. Like, dude, when you can go to a sushi store here and look at the price and go like, who the hell is eating this stuff at like
Right.
$40 a sushi? Line.
Yeah.
There's a line.
Yeah.
And also, I remember going to Japan before for some work and all that, and I was just like, what the fuck is the point of me flying? Everyone's speaking Cantonese
Well,
here.
also there's
Really? Yeah.
there's what we call like the Hong Kong brainwashing. So like Cassie and I travel a lot, right? And when we go to Japan, you're like, oh my god, this the best sushi in the world. It's so cheap. Or you go to wherever, like you go to Korea, it's like this food's so cheap. You go to Thailand, this food's so cheap. None of that stuff is cheap. It's just expensive in Hong Kong.
right.
Very
And
true,
we've been
very true.
brainwashed.
So it's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
You're
in
thinking
that
those prices
country,
are
it's
okay.
probably still expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you think you're saving money.
Yeah,
'cause
it's like
you-
it's like foreigners come to Hong Kong like, oh, taxis are so cheap. You're like, no, dude,
No.
taxis are insanely expensive there.
But it's so Taiwan, Japan's
Japan.
the clear number one, whether it's like Osaka or Tokyo or even places like Okinawa.
And is that over a certain holiday period or just in general?
In general.
Okay.
And then you have the second tier, which would be places in Thailand, Korea, and Taiwan, especially. So Taiwan, it's the main thing for Taiwan is there's no language barrier. It's like you can kind of understand the Mandarin.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thailand and Korea, like you'll need to get by with English. You definitely can't get by with Chinese.
Yeah.
Although now all of those places take WeChat Pay.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Dude, all the way to Dubai. Dubai, almost every store has WeChat Pay logo on it. It's crazy.
I was at actually a New Year's wedding like 3 years ago in Sydney, and we went to the Sydney seafood market. I went with some friends, and we saw this mainland tourist like yelling at the lady because they don't take WeChat Pay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And we're like, wow, that's such a privilege. Like, oh, you guys don't take WeChat Pay. It's like, what are you arguing about? And then we realized every other store takes WeChat Pay.
Only they
And we're like,
Yeah,
oh, that's
yeah.
like, you know what? It is actually your fault. now. It is actually your fault.
You didn't apply for
Yeah,
that shit?
yeah,
exactly.
I'm sure the
It's actually your
WeChat
fault.
salesperson came to you. You were like, no, we don't chat.
Yeah.
You know, we drink. It's like, no, that's not what we're. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you
So,
guys
yeah.
have favorite trips from like holiday travels?
Honestly, for me, because like traveling for me is usually work related. So when I don't
You're
have to,
cheap, Vivek. We
Yeah.
know that.
I don't like buying my own flight tickets.
Exactly.
I'm like, I gotta pay for this. Do I gotta buy
I
it?
have a weird. So I've been to like 2 New Year's weddings. You'd think that New Year's weddings would be a bad date. That's actually the best spot. Like you don't have to worry about what you're doing New Year's.
Yeah,
And then
you're done.
at the wedding after party, you do the countdown. It's like a little extra fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you don't, because I remember. So we went to this wedding in Sydney, and we just did the countdown in the wedding venue, and Sydney's like always known for like they're one of the first places that has New Year's.
Right.
They have epic, like the bridges have the fireworks.
The opera house or whatever.
And so we're like, oh, we're doing the New Year's here at the wedding, but we're missing out on a Sydney New Year's experience. So maybe that's a bad thing. And then the next day we found out it was one of the worst New Year's ever.
Yeah.
So like they had it was 2018. They had a lightning storm, which cut off electricity for all their trains, which means you couldn't take the train home.
Yeah.
So you could only cab or Uber that were all doing like 6 to 8 times surcharge.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the funniest thing is like on the Sydney Harbor Bridge, they usually do like the date. And they did like happy 2018. It's like, it's 2019.
Yeah.
You're like, you had one job. You messed up the year.
That's great.
Oh, the
And so
poor
we're like,
guy.
we had a good time. We had
Oh
a good
man,
time.
the person who got in trouble for that in 2018, like, but it was just copy paste. I don't get it.
I know.
No, I think for me, if we don't count the flying time, if I could travel, it would definitely be either New York or Melbourne. Like those are the two places I enjoy as a destination to go to just to enjoy. But otherwise, if you have to include the flying time, I think maybe just Kuala Lumpur, somewhere close by. I hate being on a plane for more than like 4 hours.
Yeah.
You're a comedian. That's like part of your job.
Now for work, that's what I mean. Like I did not choose to fly. I had to fly for the work. I mean, if it's my own vacation, I'm like, I want to go somewhere. I'm not gonna trap myself in a plane for 9 hours.
My issue with the States, because obviously I've done a lot of New Year's in the States. In Hong Kong, when you're like waiting by the harbor and waiting for the ball to drop or waiting for the countdown, you can be outside.
Yeah.
In like New York or like Boston, you're forced to be outside and you're like, it's
isn't it?
freezing.
Yeah.
It's so
true. I
cold.
get. Yeah,
It's
that's true. That's
snowing.
true. I've never done New Year's in like let's say the States and everything, so that's probably why I'm like, I'll be fun. When I'm there, I'm like, oh god, what the hell?
I was reading something about how New Yorkers basically never go to Times Square on New Year's Eve. They're
No,
like,
no,
this
that's
is something
like
for dumb
tourists.
tourists.
Yeah,
that is
I
true.
think it's the same with Hong Kong, right? Half of the thing, no one's going to the peak. Like,
Or Lang Kwai Fong, honestly.
Yeah,
I remember I wasn't there for New Year's, but I was there for Christmas, and I was in a cab with my family, and there was a line outside the Ed Sullivan Theater where they're like filming Colbert,
yeah.
and like there's all these people. It's snowing, they're freezing, they didn't wear enough, they're all shaking, and my buddy's like, "Look at that line." Nobody in that line is actually from New York.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure.
They're all from like Ohio,
Yeah,
Idaho,
yeah.
Iowa. They're here on vacation.
I remember when we were, I think it was LA when we went to the Craig Ferguson show.
Yeah.
And we were all lining up, and I was like, oh wow, this is interesting. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, none of these people actually flew in here just to go to the shows.
Yeah.
Because I was lining for like another 2 hours. I'm like, what the hell's going on? People do this? And I turned out that's what they do. That's actually part of the whole experience.
And I found like the one time I went to watch The Daily Show.
Yeah.
Like, when Jon Stewart was still there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's actually New Yorkers watching this. Why? It's like, oh, there's a deal, like the area, it's called Hell's Kitchen, like where they filmed. It's like, oh, that area, there are like a lot of bars. If you have a ticket for The Daily Show, all the drinks are half off. So it's just like, watch the show get filmed and then go get wasted.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's
nice.
smart. What about yourself, Mo? Where's your destination to go to?
I mean, when I was living in China, New Year's is not a big deal. And when I was living in mainland in Shanghai, New Year's is not a big deal there. So it's actually like among the expats, it's kind of like okay.
Really? Like,
yeah,
New Year's
yeah.
is not a big.
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
No, it's like-
There was like the one weird trampling time, and then that was like,
yeah. So Shanghai, maybe from 2015 or 16, started having fireworks and everything, but it's not as huge as anywhere else around the world.
Yeah.
Because obviously you see it on the news and like, oh, Sydney, Hong Kong have a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's just for us expats to like go out, and then the 1st of January is usually a public holiday, so people can like deal with their hangover. But so also we would just travel as well, like the expats usually. But the mainland Chinese people, they just don't care much for the Western New Year because the Chinese New Year is coming up.
Yeah.
I actually feel like in China, they kind of downplay it on purpose to
Yeah.
make Chinese New Year
Sure,
feel
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Actually, that's another thing. Like that. Usually, what I used to say is that the 1st of Jan was like a kind of trial New Year's resolution. Chinese New Year's is the one.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
all right, you know,
I do
Yeah.
as well.
this stick, this doesn't stick.
I'm like, okay, now I'll go to the
Now
gym.
I can, yeah.
exactly.
Now I'm gonna go on hikes.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's New Year's resolution. I just go big first. I'm like, I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna do da.
Yeah.
And it just fades out until Chinese New Year. Like, okay, these are the few that stuck.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep these going. The rest did not work out. Let's go.
I was like, I still kept going to boozy brunches, but I know I'm getting some cash coming in.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes, it works out.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
have
the
that.
Western New Year in Shanghai specifically was just like a reason to party, really. So we just have like this, fancy brunches, overpriced brunches, basically.
So did locals go out, or was it just?
I think it's the locals are like tied to the expat community. It's like, hang out with foreigners or whatever. But it's really not a big deal there.
Yeah.
It's just all the foreign bars and restaurants who have deals.
But I feel like, okay, so speaking of New Year's, I think it's really important. our listeners must have a whole bunch of New Year's resolutions and everything that they're working on.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions? Because at this age, I've come to a point I don't believe them anymore. I'm like,
Let's
this is not a
start with
mistake.
Garron.
I've been too busy to think of New Year's resolutions. Actually, we have a thing called like West Side Chat. It's like all the comedians who live like Kennytown, West Side, and I think we've been drinking so much we just need a group New Year's resolution. Like let's all together stop drinking for a month, and we immediately did this because we're like, let's all stop drinking for a month.
Yeah.
Let's start during Chinese New Year. We immediately already said like, we're going out tomorrow.
I think there was some talks about the 1st of January, and everyone's like, but we could also start on like the 3rd of January. And then someone's like,
it's a weekend.
just need Chinese New Year. It's fine.
Yeah.
We remember we were starting. Andy last year he did this Meatless Mondays.
Yeah.
But he's like the Australian version of it. He's like, Meatless Mondays. Like no meat. I was like, what about fish? He's like, fish doesn't count as meat. I'm like, oh, that's easy. I can do that.
Yeah.
I will eat sushi every day.
Like
That's
eggs
fine.
okay, fish is okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if the chicken was happy, chicken's okay. It's like
I wanna try not to. I can't promise to not get angry at stuff or people because it's just who I am. But I want to start. My one resolution this year is to not seek out stuff that makes me angry. It's the big difference.
so not seek out.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Ah, so
everything is gonna piss me off anyway.
Yeah, don't
But I literally
actively.
like sit at home sometimes, look up YouTube videos of stuff that I know is gonna piss me off.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
need to stop doing that.
He's not going to rewatch the last season of Game of Thrones
Basically,
again. You know?
exactly.
Yeah,
Or like read Nori Vitachi books or something
Yeah.
like that. I'm like, I need to
Unnecessarily.
stop doing
yeah,
that.
yeah. Unnecessarily, you just piss yourself off, right?
Yeah, sometimes I'll just go on his Facebook page and just
See?
get angry.
Exactly.
Like, fuck you.
But I feel like, I don't know if you guys agree with me or you think I'm crazy. It's kind of recreational in a way.
Yeah.
When you just kind of like get let out this.
Yeah.
this
You know what it
energy.
is? I think like there's no drug that recreates that feeling.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
there's no what's the drug you do that's like I'm gonna
Piss
make
you
me
off. Yeah,
angry
yeah.
but feel good that I'm angry at this
Yeah,
person. It's
yeah.
like not. It's like MDMA, you get angry. Like no, that doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I think even for myself this year, the resolution honestly is to reverse it where I don't do that much work. I'm just like I can decide getting lazier now.
Oh wow! Okay,
Yeah.
you do actually being close to you do overwork.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you also you're a yes man. You say yes to everything.
Yeah,
that
there's
comes
that. Yeah.
through your way.
There's a lot of that, and that's because like, see, this is the problem with me is that it's not that I don't want to say no. It's like
Yeah.
I know I can do it. I know I'm borderline kill myself, but I
Yeah.
know I can do it.
No, but it's almost like I'm a little bit of a workaholic as well. It's like a challenge, right? It's like
Yeah.
I can fit this in.
Oh yeah, I can totally do it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll sleep 1 hour.
I'll just sleep for 4 hours. I bet I could do it anyway.
Yeah,
I'll
I've done it
crush
before.
it.
Yeah. That's the problem, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of self-employed people or self-driven people instead of like comedy, you have to be self-disciplined in a way, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the idea is that we can go as far as we want to push ourselves, and
Yeah.
that's the issue a lot of comics will probably deal with.
I saw this it was an interview from like 3 years ago with like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And he said this thing that it's my eventual goal that I could find my life to fit in this way. He's like, the real thing you have to find in life is part-time job, full-time pay. It's like
That's
he's like I
great.
became so popular in UFC. I fight like 1 time, 2 times a year. That's my salary for the year. I'm
Yeah.
like, smart.
That is
smart.
such a good idea.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what basically Conor McGregor is doing as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
He
Yeah.
fights like twice a year.
Yeah.
Gets $40 million in each.
And he's like
He's
done,
set.
and then he could
Done.
take like 2 years off. You know?
Yeah.
And also I feel like he's breaking his bones on purpose now, so he doesn't even
Yeah,
need
he's
to
like,
do the full 25 minutes.
Yeah. It's like in the contract now, if I break my bones, I get 25% more. Just for the entertainment factor as well.
Wow. Do you guys was Macau a big destination for Hong Kong people, or
Oh,
was
hell
that like
no.
for?
Not for it's a Chinese New Year destination, not
Yeah.
a New Year's
Is it
destination.
because people have money from all the licensees, so they want to go spend it there?
Well, I think yes, but Chinese New Year is a specific holiday that's about spending, that's about prosperity. Like even in Macau, like the casinos, they won't do like New Year's deals, but Chinese New Year's, like everybody gets like a free chip, and we're gonna
Yeah.
throw all these things, and it's like it's kind of lucky to. It's like Chinese New Year is all about luck, right? So
Right.
it's like, what's more lucky than trying to win money at a casino?
Yeah.
And also, if you go to Macau, Macau doesn't do fireworks on New Year's that much. The Macau Chinese New Year
That's
fireworks
crazy.
are crazy because
Yeah.
like it's not just government sponsored fireworks, but there's one specific beach that they let people like fireworks have been illegal mostly for the last few years in Macau, except for that specific beach on that specific day.
Right.
So they're like, hey, buy fireworks, go to this beach. And
Oh, so you can
shoot
actually
fireworks
legally
in the
buy
air.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they've kind of limited in the last few years because I know there were accidents, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of the just buy fireworks, shoot, free for all. Like It's right by the main bridge in Macau that separates the island and the peninsula.
Yeah.
And when you drive on that beach during Chinese New Year, it's just smoke from people shooting off their own fireworks.
That's cool. Was fireworks ever a thing in Hong Kong?
Nah, it's illegal. You can't
It's
do
been
it.
illegal for a while. So actually, the big thing in Hong Kong for sometimes New Year's, specifically for Mid-Autumn Festival and kind of Chinese New Year's, you've done the wax fireworks, right?
Oh yeah, and the tin. Yeah.
So what they do is like you light candles for lanterns, but when the candles are done melting, they take all the wax, you put them in tins that you buy cookies or candies from or mooncakes from, and if you fill it up with leftover wax and you like just throw a match in it, they explode and they shoot kind of sparks, and that's like our low rent version of fireworks. Like fireworks are illegal, but we're like making. I mean, those aren't fireworks. They're basically bombs.
Yeah, exactly. That's
But
like
they have some sort
the
of
Hong Kong
sparks.
redneck version.
Yeah, exactly.
So you get all these families, you know, the one time that, all right, kids, come on, go.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, hey, go
That's
there.
cool.
Yeah.
And so when the lanterns are done, they never like throw away the lanterns. Like, oh, this leftover wax, let's use them. And that's why a lot of people don't like the electronic LED
'cause it
lanterns
doesn't
because
have
like
the candles.
there's no wax. We can't
do
use
that.
it to make bombs later.
We can't recycle it. In a way, it's kind of environmental
Well,
friendly.
in a way, I mean, I bet you there's some dumb, super over the top redneck family that takes the batteries and the LED ones. It's a family tradition. Let's burn it up.
Where would you guys want to go when in 2030 when things are
Dude,
we're allowed to travel again?
Anywhere.
I want to revisit every destination I've ever done comedy in, just to be like, oh, so this is what it's like outside of Hong Kong.
Right? Yeah.
It used to be like every year I want to go somewhere new. This year's like anywhere, just anywhere,
Yeah.
anywhere.
Tried and tested, whatever.
I'll be like, let me go to Macau. I'll go to Macau.
yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, just don't have to quarantine. That's all I care about.
Would you guys take the cruise to nowhere? I had a couple of friends who did it over the New Year's Eve.
Dude,
Actually,
I've done cruise ship gigs, so I'm just like, why the hell am I going back to a workplace?
so if you're a listener, call in if you have taken the cruise to nowhere.
Yeah.
I want to hear about that because it's like.
Wait,
I don't know. It sounds like very like to me. I watched like the Instagram stories, and it seems like some of the stories. I'm like, this is so cool.
I've heard it's good value for money. Just
Okay.
because it's like cheaper than cruises would be regularly.
Yeah, but you get the
Right.
experience, right?
Yeah.
Because so cruise ships are a lot of fun. I always tell people do it once in your life. You have to do it once in your life.
I've
just to
never
feel-
done it, so that's why I'm
So
asking.
it's actually like a resort, just a moving resort. And the good thing is that when you end your trip, you actually in a new place. So
Right.
you don't get the whole flying pain. You're enjoying the whole time. And 3 days later, you're bam. So I did the math. It usually is like for a 3-hour flight, it takes 3 days by cruise to get to that destination. You know, so let's say Singapore, it'll take you like almost 3 days to get there. But during those 3 days, you're pampered, man.
Right.
Like, so the whole point is that 24 hours, you're just enjoying. So some cruises are all inclusive where the food, drinks are all included, but you have a few of the fancy restaurants you pay for. But generally the buffet is all free, you know, have drinks all the time. Your bed's always being made. So the idea is that you're totally pampered, right? And you have stuff going on from 6 a.m. all the way down to like 3 in the morning. So
Right.
you're never bored. And then the good thing now is that people want to get that experience at a cheaper price, like Garron said.
Yeah.
But we know we can't travel, and this is the only one we are feeling I'm kind of getting away from the city, but I'm
Right.
not, you know, stuck on a plane or whatever. So I think, like I said, I always tell people you should do it. I wouldn't do the cruise to nowhere just because, again, like I said, work related.
Right.
But otherwise, I've never done it before. I'd tell everyone it's worth it.
He'd go there and be like, who the fuck is this comedian? This Garron Chiu guy
Dude,
sucks.
I would love to go on a cruise ship, like let's say, and like I'm not the performer, but I'm actually watching some comedian doing 40 minutes. I'm like, oh, let's see how you work this crowd.
I know. I mean, this is the shortened version of the story, but they got some like local comedians because, like, you know, for a while they were doing like the Zook like party one night cruises, and they did like a comedy show, and they just got like a lot of Hong Kong comics, including Steve Lee.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't tell them until the day that the performance stage is on the 3rd floor with no elevator.
Oh no!
And, for the audience, Steve Lee is handicapped and he uses walkers. And then he basically struggled to get up these stairs, and then the show started, and nobody gave a shit about the show anyway. So he's like, I had to get up all this way.
Oh, yeah, he did mention he did a cruise gig, because I asked him once when he did tell me, he said it was just at the bar. He wasn't a theater show. So cruise gigs, you have 2 levels. You have one is the bars, where it's just like a lounge happening in the corner. The other one's a theater where like you're featured that night. That's the theater show you go to, and you only do one night. So you don't do it every night. So he did the bar one, because that's probably why nobody cared. They're like, who's this? What's going on? Yeah. And it's not that funny when you're up on the stage going,
Well, no, because he said specifically for the Zook party cruises, there's 2 types of people, because they do like, hey, we're gonna do it's a 1 or 2 night cruise. We're gonna do a rave. So all the young people are at the party.
yeah, the party. Yeah.
They're not watching the entertainment.
Yeah.
The only people who are watching the entertainment are the old Chinese people who are there waiting for the casino to open.
Yeah.
So they're just like, we don't speak English. We're just sitting here because the drinks are free and blackjack happens in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think some comedian was talking about it on a podcast. He was talking about how he's bombing on the cruise ship gig, and he tried to apologize to the manager, and the manager said, no, this is great because you get people to go to the casinos. He's like, basically, I walked the room and he felt bad. The manager's like, no, this is great. Do this tomorrow.
Let them
If
leave,
you
let them
were
leave.
funny, people would have stayed and not gambled.
Yeah. So this is why you keep getting rebooked on the cruise ships.
I was like, I'm dying every night. Like, why do you guys still pay me?
Exactly.
Now I get
Now
it.
you get
So I just want to reach out to all the cruise companies now.
Yeah.
if things
I would make you guys a lot of money.
I was actually upset. I think it was like a recommendation from you. It was like right before COVID.
Yes.
Yeah, I was starting to get booked on cruise ship
Yes.
gigs. And then the COVID happened. I'm like, no.
Yeah. I remember because I recommended you. I think I recommended Tim Chan as well.
Yeah.
Tim Chan didn't make it in time. He was working. He had a job, and I recommended.
Yeah, it was like they wanted me to fly to Philippines, and there was a cruise Philippines to Singapore, and then another cruise Singapore back to Hong Kong. I was like, that would have been a fun trip.
Yeah,
because
the best ones are the ones that you land in Hong Kong. The worst is when you're.
So the final destination is Hong Kong.
then you're
so
home.
And then you have to find a way back.
Yeah, you know. Otherwise, unless they put you in Sai Kung, then you're screwed.
Well, also, like, when I was thinking I would do Philippines to Hong Kong, I was like, okay, then I'll fly to Philippines in advance, do some shows there.
Right.
Cruise on the way home.
Yeah.
It's fun stuff.
Okay, so again, we can go really technical with cruises. Like, the one benefit is that you can actually book your own flights sometimes, and you can adjust it. Where I'm going to stay in the Philippines for 3 more days myself, and they'll pay for your flight back.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So you can, like, Garron said, you can do some shows over there as well. But anyway, cruise ships go to nowhere. A good way to start the new year. Where are you going to life?
Is the cruise to nowhere in Hong Kong now? Does it have comedy acts?
No.
I imagine no.
If they haven't booked me, no.
He's your go-to guy. That was a very firm no.
They're gambling very well. When gambling goes down, they'll call me.
Unless, like, the cruise comes back, it's like, well, you got which open micer? What
Exactly.
Who undercut me by how much?
Yeah, exactly. What they say, free? No wonder. Anyway,
dude, Garron, thank you so much for coming on, man.
No worries.
It's been
Happy
a pleasure.
New Year's, guys.
We're gonna make this is now a Hong Kong tradition of having you on New Year's. So
and next year we can talk about how nobody went anywhere again.
Yeah,
absolutely. We're gonna probably replay this clip right now.
Just replay the podcast.
Thanks, dude. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thanks, guys.